we're changing up Let's Translate again for this month. Good translation is a real skill. Literal translation can be really clunky. So let's look at some Italian sayings and see if we can come up with an English equivalent. Should be fun, right? And you will find some of these sayings when you're reading novels, or even non-fiction. So you need to be prepared to think outside the box. We have 10 we're going to look at. Now, before we start, there are many sayings that are just the same as the English ones. We're not going to look at those. Also, I'm going to leave a couple of links in the description to 2 places where you can find some of these sayings, and more. Number 1. Avere le fette di prosciutto sugli occhi. To have pieces of prosciutto on your eyes, so you can't see what's right before your eyes. What might be the English equivalent? To have or not the wool pulled over your eyes, or to have your head in the sand. Those are both alternatives that can be used in different situations. Or to be less colloquial, to be blinded by something. Interestingly, when researching this one, I saw it used with mettere as well. So, mettere le fette di prosciutto sugli occhi. And I saw it used with ears, in the form of togliersi le fette di prosciutto dalle orecchie. I guess that might be the equivalent of turning a deaf ear to something. Or it could be half of the saying, take the cotton wool out of your ears and put it in your mouth, meaning shut up and listen. Although I've only ever heard the first part of that saying. I've also seen this saying used with salame instead of prosciutto. Lots of options there. On to the next. Number 2. Fa venire il latte alle ginocchia. Literally to cause milk on the knees, but actually meaning for something to be boring or irritating. So bores me to tears, bores me to death, getting on my nerves, put me to sleep. Searching for this one, I found some far more colourful interpretations, but we'll stick with those for now. Plus, there was something else that came up. Una cosa da latte alle ginocchia. It was like watching paint dry. 3. Cavare il sangue da una rapa. To draw blood out of a turnip. That's impossible, right? I think a lot of you will have plumped for to get blood out of a stone. We'd use this when trying to get information out of a person. I'm not sure if the Italian version is more general. However, I also saw it interpreted as not being too demanding and making a silk purse out of a sow's ear, which both make sense depending on the circumstances. Plus some ones I'd never heard before, which might be from other countries. Squeezing the life out of a dime. I guess that's from the USA. And getting spinach out of a turnip. Number 4. Non vola una mosca. This one I have seen in a book. Not a fly is flying. And if you can't hear a fly flying, it implies that it's quiet. You can't hear a pin drop. But all is quiet and not much goes on here were other options I found that don't require a corresponding saying. 5. Da un pero non nasce un melo. A pear tree can't give birth to an apple tree. The implication is that children are the same as their parents. So, in English, that's the apple never falls far from the tree. Couldn't find any alternatives to this one, but you might have something specific in your area. 6. Avere una faccia da pesce bollito. To have a face like boiled fish. Nice. This is apparently talking about someone being inexpressive, which makes sense given the image. So you might say it's the same as stone-faced, perhaps. Or I'd like to think it's the same as the saying we have here, a face like a wet weekend. Is that just a British saying? Or do you have it elsewhere? 7. Avere le mani in pasta. Having your hands in pasta. Being involved in one or many activities. I think the most common equivalent would be to have a finger in every pie, although I think that has a slightly negative connotation in English, which I'm not sure is the same in Italian. On searching for it, I found it also interpreted as getting your hands dirty. So perhaps not. 8. Una volta ogni morte di papa. Once every death of a pope. That doesn't happen very often, does it? I'll bet you got this one, really quickly. Once in a blue moon. And I didn't see any alternatives to this one at all. Number 9. Sputa il rospo. Spit out the toad. No, it's nothing to do with having a frog in your throat. Spit it out, spill the beans, out with it, cough it up. These are all options, and I'm sure there are plenty more. 10. Essere sano come un pesce. To be as healthy as a fish. Are fish considered healthy? I'm sure many of you got this one straight away. As fit as a fiddle, fighting fit, right as rain, and many more. And if you want something less colloquial, a clean bill of health would probably fit that bill.